Hello, and welcome to EverLogic Training. My name is Jennifer Fuel. Today we'll be talking about the service repair orders. And on our agenda today, we will learn about the repair order form, where there'll be some general information we'll go through. Also, the repair order status versus the job status on the repair order. We'll go into a multi-type where we'll talk about a retail, an estimate, warranty, and internal repair orders. There'll be a memo box that you can add notes on. Then we'll talk about adding existing and or a new customer, along with attaching a repair order unit. We'll go into the service jobs where we can manually key a job, or we can use labor codes that will save yourself a lot of time when setting up your repair orders. We'll add parts to the repair order. Then we'll talk about the shop supplies and environmental fees and sublets. We can then copy and keep the repair order form for future estimates. We'll talk about payments and deposits, and we'll close out the repair order. All right, let's go ahead and go into EverLogic, where we are focusing today on parts and service, and we're going to a new repair order. All right, so first of all, we want to click to add our customer. Now, if you're working with an existing customer, you can put that customer's name in. Search for that customer, and then you can double click on the customer's name. If they are a previous customer that has purchased a unit from your dealership, then the unit would be available for you to select on the repair order. So we'll go ahead and double click on the repair unit here. And then we've got 4 tabs that we're going through today. On the general information and cash out tab, we have an area that you can schedule an appointment. So maybe they or just a walk-in customer, or you want to schedule the appointment, and you can do so here on the calendar by clicking this box and then going in to set up the appointment. So let's save what we have. And then in the appointment, we learned about how to set up a calendar appointment on a previous lesson, so I'm not going to go through all of this specifics, but we've got a repair order unit, and then you can set a reminder, you can send a message, then you already have here your customer, your unit, and the repair order number. Okay, we'll save that. So now our appointment is set. If you would like, you can add in some additional details. These fields are not required, so you can add in as much or as little as you prefer. So you've got the date of the purchase of this unit you can add here. If you use a key tag system, and when you set up your service repair orders, you could put the key tag number in this field. What day do you promise that the unit will be repaired? And then what was the mileage when you received the unit in for the repair? And what was the mileage on the way going out? Also, what day did you receive it? Date and time here. And then the date and time when you release the unit back to the customer here. And there is a section also where you can place the person's name that notified the customer, along with the date and time of the notification. All right, please notice there is a memo section in the lower area on this tab, and this is not a private note and may print out on a receipt for the customer to see. So again, this is not a private note. All right, please notice on the right side that we have our cash out section. We'll come back to this once we're done. As we start adding in our parts and service jobs, the totals will automatically display here in the cash out tab area. Okay. Before I move from this tab, let's look in the upper right hand corner. Please notice that EverLogic has automatically assigned the RO number in sequential order from the last repair order that you wrote, along with the date. Here's where we can select to see, is this going to be a retail service repair, a warranty service repair, or maybe an internal? We can also go into a multi-type. We'll have an example of one of those. And then there are estimates that we can talk about also. I'm going with the retail on this example. And please notice it's automatically put my name and my location as the being the person that's logged into EverLogic at this time. It will also capture the drawer number that I'm using. And then we've got a status. Now let's take a look at the statuses that are allowed in this field. Some of them, such as evaluation, maybe you've put it on the text clipboard, maybe you're waiting for the customer, maybe you're waiting for the warranty parts, maybe the work is in progress. This is the overall status of the repair order. And then you've got the PO. If you do track customers by PO and or class, you can make those choices here. All right, we'll save what we have and then move on to the Service Items tab. On the Service Items tab, I'm going to click Add New Service Job. And please notice this is repair job number 1. Okay. Now, let's talk about labor codes for just a moment. Labor codes are known as also canned jobs. Those jobs that you work on a regular basis, maybe oil changes, tire changes. I've set up a few here, such as a hitch set. I've got my pre-delivery inspection set up in this section. I've got a labor code for winterize. And then let's choose rubber roofing on this specific job. All right, so I want to talk about this labor code that I chose, rubber roofing. And then I'm going to jump over to the parts tab and show you how this works. Now, it's showing me here that these parts that are involved with this particular labor code are out of inventory, so I need to order the parts that are required for this specific job. Click OK. And I just wanted to show you with a labor code, it'll automatically put the parts on that are associated with that specific job. And if you'll notice the job number here, job number 1. Okay. So that's the cool thing about labor codes. Back over to your service item. Here I use the labor code. This will save you and your staff a lot of time. You know, time is money, money is time. We're trying to save you some time here so you can save yourself some money. And by using your labor codes, it'll automatically place the parts on the repair order for you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump down to the job status on this particular job. And this is the individual status of this job. Unlike the status that we spoke of in the upper right hand corner, this is the status of the overall repair order. Each job on the repair order also has a status. And you'll notice those same status options to choose from here. I'm just going to place it on my text clipboard for now. And then that reminds me I need to add a tech. Let's not forget to add our tech in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And it's automatically capturing this labor code that I used for the rubber roofing. I have that set to be at 5 hours. So the actual pay and billable hours here are showing 5. And again, it's automatically set that way in my labor code. All right, so for classroom purposes only, I'm going to go ahead and point this field out where it says completed. And in order for us to complete our example today, we will have to have a completed RO. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this job as being complete for now. If you did not mark this job complete, you would receive a pop-up message when you were trying to close the RO indicating it was still open, and you would have to come back and do so. All right, then we're going to go here into our problem. And so let's say the problem was the roof was leaking. And the cause was maybe they had an accident. And the solution is to provide and replace with rubber roofing. All right, now please notice in the upper right-hand corner, it's automatically capturing the hours for this specific job and calculating my rate, giving me my price. And then let me jump back over to the cash out tab and indicate here how it's already capturing this price for me. So as of right now, I'm at $1,994. That's with the service job that I indicated for the rubber roofing, along with the parts, because since I used a labor code, it automatically keyed the parts in for me. And then now I'm going to take you over to the other items where it's noticing I have my system set up to automatically charge $3 for shop supplies. These are things like rubber gloves, grease, the nuts and bolts that may be involved with the job that you don't charge separately as a part. You can set those up here as your shop supplies. I also have mine set up to automatically charge an environmental fee, but if this job does not require an environmental fee, then you can click here in the override box and then override this. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the environmental fee. That's usually if you're doing an oil change, maybe a tire change, something like that. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can add a sublet, which is a subcontracted job. So as you hover here, you'll see you can right click and then add in an item. So I'm going to add an item and you'll notice it comes up as a sublet. Okay, you can add in a description. So let's say that with every repair order, I give a mobile detail on the unit. And with this, I do need to make sure that I choose the vendor so that it goes over to QuickBooks properly to show up under your vendors selected. And I've got one here listed as my detail specialists. And either you can make a charge here or leave it at 0. I give mine away free with repair orders at my dealership. Okay. There is a private note here. Please notice this is a private note for you to make here if you would like to do so. And then I'm going to go ahead and save. And then back over to my general cash out tab. You notice here the parts total and then there's the shop total. So it's only $3 now because I took off the environmental fee of $15 and I'm not charging for the subcontracted detail job. Okay, my labor is $867.67. My subtotal, sales tax, giving me a total of $994.94. All right, so let's go ahead and save what we have. And now we're going to cash out and close this repair order. So the customer, let's say they pay with a check. So you make your selection of how they're making their payment, and then we need to receive this information into the payment box. So you can either hit the tab key or enter to get that payment amount into the payment box. You now see that the balance is 0, and it's time to close out by clicking on the rubber stamp icon here. Do you want to close this repair order? Yes. All right, when you close it, you'll get an invoice here for your customer. So you've got your dealership information here, your RO detail, your customer information, your vehicle information, and then here is the labor code that I used. It includes all the specifics that I've entered along with the parts. This is indicating this is repair job number 1 along with the totals. And then down below, everything is added up with the balance and the RO number. Okay, you can print that out for your customer, and you also get a copy here for your accounting department. Please notice in orange now it indicates that this repair order was closed on June 29th. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and start a new repair order. And this time I'm going to set up a retail estimate for us. Okay, we'll go ahead and click to add our customer. And this time I'm going to choose a customer that did not purchase the unit from my dealership. So when I click to add the unit, instead of showing the unit that they purchased, it's going to have this repair order unit box that's going to pop up. Now you can add in as little or as much information here as you would like. The VIN number would be a good thing to add in, maybe the make and model of the vehicle here. The one thing that is required is the stock number. Now you can use any stock number here as you wish. This is not adding the vehicle into your stock inventory. It's only showing as a repair order stock. So I like to use the date along with RO, indicating this is a repair unit. Again, you can add in as much or as little detail here. There is a section here for a note. Let's say customer confirmed an 8-inch scratch on the rear bumper. So that doesn't go against you and your dealership. You can make those types of notes here if you like, and then we'll go ahead and save it and then close that window. And so here is my repair order unit stock number that I created. Again, I can go in and I can set up an appointment if I'd like. I can add in the mileage in along with mileage out and who notified the customer. Those details are here. You can add in as much or as little as you'd like on this tab. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to the Service Items tab. And we'll add a new service job. Okay, this is service job number 1. And let's say that first of all, they want to do an oil change. All right, we need to add our technician by clicking on the icon here. Select your technician, and then how many actual hours would this take? How many hours are you paying? And then how many hours will be billed to the customer? Again, this little section here, this indicates that the job was completed. Normally you wouldn't do that until the job is done, but for class purposes, I'm going to go ahead and make that selection. Again, it's adding up the labor rate on the far right side. Okay, and then we need to add our part. Okay, so when you add a part, you can add in a UPC number, a part number, or a description of the part. I just hit enter, and I can make a selection of these different oil filters that I already have in stock. All right, and again, I've got my other items here. This is a job that would require the environmental fee, so I'm not going to override. And then again, I do charge a $3 shop supply here. Again, back on the cash out tab, you notice we've got my parts, my shop fees there, the labor rate, and at this time it's given me a total of $139. Okay, let's go ahead and save this. And let's say that, for instance, while the tech was looking over the unit and doing their oil change, that they also noticed that there was a broken step. So let's say that they're going to come back and suggest that we replace the step. So this is now repair job number 2, and the problem being the broken step. And we may not know the cause yet, but we're going to suggest that we replace the step. Okay, we can go ahead and choose a technician. And we'll say that we think is going to take about 4 hours for the repair. And then that totals up my labor on the far right side. Okay. Now, in this instance, let's say that we've told the customer, hey, we found that you had a broken step. We suggest that we replace that step for you. And let's say they decline the work. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. There is a button here where you can decline this job. However, you may want to keep this as an estimate for, the future in case they come back in to have the step replaced by your dealership. So what we can do now is we'll save this, and we can go here on the Tools drop-down menu, go to Copy, and then we'll do a duplicate RO. All right, so now this RO number has appeared for us, and what we can do is change this to retail, and then go back in and remove the job that they wish not to have completed today. So you make your selection, double click to open up this repair job for the broken step, and then remove this job. Yes, we want to remove it. And then the parts, if you had already added the step onto the parts, you would need to remove the parts also for that job. So now we're back to the oil filter here for the oil change that the customer approved. And then here on the cash out, our total being $139. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cash out. Okay, remember just to either hit Tab or Enter to get that payment into your payment box, and then click on the Cash Out button. Do you want to close the repair order? Yes. Okay, and then there's your receipts, one for the customer and one for your accounting department. It now shows this one as closed as of today's date. Okay, now this is the retail part of that estimate that we were working on with our customer. Let's go back and search, and we're going to find that estimate that we set up. This is the customer that I'm working with. Okay, we've got Andy, and this is the retail estimate that we're going to look at keeping on the system. But if you don't close it, it's still going to show as being an open RO. So what you can do instead of closing it is actually deleting it. Now before we delete it, you would take off the repair orders that you completed. So we did the oil change, so we can remove that job. Let's make sure the step is on here for the repair order. Remove the oil filter, that's the job that we completed. So all you have to do is right click and remove that part, just like we learned in our invoice lesson. So now we've got the step and the service or repair job for replacing the step. Okay, we can save this. Again, it's still open, so it doesn't show as open. You would choose then to delete this repair order, and it doesn't get deleted, it's just going to show as voided. So here you can put in original estimate or any additional notes you'd like to add there, and then click delete. And that was repair number 10756. So when we come back in and look for repair order 10756, it now shows as voided, so it doesn't sit as an open repair order in your books. Okay. One other example we're going to go through is a multi-type repair order. So this time in the upper right section, I'm going to choose multi-type. Please notice that it adds in multiple tabs in your cash out section. You have a tab for retail, internal, and warranty. This is a multi-type. Let's go ahead and add our customer in. Okay, we've got Becky. And click to add her unit. She did purchase her unit, so we're just going to double click here and it automatically displays the unit detail. All right, let's save it. You can go in and you can add an appointment here. As we talked about before, we do need to add in a service item, so we're going to click on new service job. Now, please notice, since we chose multi-type as the RO type here, you now have 3 options to choose from: retail, internal, and warranty. So let's say that she has a retail request, and this is to replace the skylight because it's leaking. And we'll say she had an accident that caused a cracked skylight, and we're going to replace the skylight today. Okay, let's add our technician. And we'll say this is scheduled to be a 2-hour job. And again, just for class purposes, I am going to mark this as being a completed job. Okay, we've got our labor rate showing here. And then we need to add the parts for this. So we're going to add in the skylight. You can make your choices here, or if it's not one that's listed here, you can add. My part is not here, By making that selection, you can go to the catalog to add this part. Okay, make your selection on the skylight that you want. Double click it. Then you're going to get this little box for you to choose which bin it's going to be placed in. I'm going to say this is skylight that I normally don't carry, so I'm just going to use my in and out. So we're not really going to put it into a specific area. And then OK. Now in this case, since this specific skylight is not in stock, then you would need to add it to a PO. This box here allows you to add to a PO. By clicking here, you can then choose to add it to a new PO or add to an existing PO. Also, since this is a multi-type repair order, there is a section here for you to choose. Is this a retail part, internal, or warranty part? So we're going to choose this as a retail part. What job is this? This is the job number 1. Okay. Scroll over, it'll show you here how many you need for this job. So I'm going to leave this at 1. Now there is other sections here that you can add in freight. You could, add in a discount. There's different items here that you can manually come in and key. Let's go ahead and say we need some sealant to make this repair. If you click on the down drop menu, you can choose one of the sealants that you have in stock. And let's say they should need 10 tubes of sealant for that. And then enter. Again, we want to choose what job this is going with. So this is going to the retail portion of this repair order. And this is for job number 1, the leaking skylight. All right. Let's say that while they were in, we realized that this particular unit had a warranty job that could be done on the shocks. So let's go back and service items, and we'll add, this is repair job number 2. We're going to put it in as a warranty job. Say faulty shocks from the factory. And we're going to replace. All right, let's add our technician. And we think this will take about 2 hours on this job. I'm going to mark it as complete just for class purposes. This is my warranty. All right, so with the warranty, you want to make sure that you choose your warranty company. And you can add in the claim number here. And then I'm going to go ahead and save this. And then add in my parts. Okay, again, if that part is not in stock, you can add it from your catalog. Make your selection here. Choose your bin and what category. Now, We'll also want to make sure that we choose what category. This is for the warranty, so we're going to choose W, indicating for warranty. And now remember, job number 2 is for the shocks, so we'll choose job number 2. Okay, I want to share with you something else to the far right here. So in the far right area, if I were to add this to a PO, it would show the PO number here. So if one of these items had to be ordered, again, you can click on this box, as we did there, and you can either add to a new PO or add to an existing PO. When you do that, the PO number would display in this section. And for class purposes, I do also want to show you this section where it says add to another job. Okay, I'm just going to give you an example this time. I'm sure you wouldn't be using this sealant with your shocks, but let's pretend, and for this example, that we need this sealant for both the skylight repair and the shocks repair. So what you can do is come over and click here on this icon that looks kind of like a UPC code. When you click here, it's going to open up a new line with that specific part, and you can now come in, assign this as part of the warranty. This is going on to job number 2. And then if you need to change the quantity here, you can do so. So again, this little box here, this icon will save you a lot of time, so you don't have to go and select the part again. If you're using the same part for multiple jobs, just click on this icon to add it to a separate job. Just always remember you want to come in and choose the service item job that this is going to. And in this case, since we are working with a multi-type RO, we had to choose what type of job we're adding it to also. All right, please notice at this time we have 3 sections at the bottom. Our retail here on parts is $254.70. We don't have any internal parts for this specific RO. Usually internals are done with the sale of the vehicle, so I'm not going to add an internal on this particular RO, but we did add in the warranty. And in the warranty parts, it's totaling $26.55. All right, let's take a look at our other items. Because this setup is a multi-type RO, you will have 2 items or 2 rows for each type of RO. So I've got 2 for the repair, 2 for the internal, and 2 for the warranty. So if you need to come in and make a change to the amounts that were charged here, you can do so. All right, on the retail, I'm going to say I'm charging $3 for my shop supplies, but I will not be doing that on the warranty. Okay. And then let's go back to our cash out tab. I'm going to click Save. And now we have 3 different tabs that we have to cash out separately. So here we have our warranty tab. In the warranty tab, you'll choose the payment type, being warranty. And there's the amount of the warranty. Remember, that amount needs to be in the payment box. You can either hit tab or enter to get it here. I will mention, just to say, that on occasion, you're probably going to be waiting for the warranty company to send in the funds. You'll still want to go ahead and close this section out. And what's going to happen is there will be a receivables account set up, or like a bill set up in your QuickBooks, so that whenever the payment comes in, then you can go ahead and go into QuickBooks to place the payment on the warranty section. All right, so we need to go ahead and click on the rubber stamp to close out the warranty type. Yes, we'll close that. All right, you get these receipts. So here's one for the vendor on the warranty, one for the customer, and also one for your accounting department. You now see in orange here, it shows that the warranty section was closed today. All right, there's nothing specific to close on the warranty section itself. It's 0. So we'll just go over to the retail tab. We're going to choose here that they're going to pay this with a check. Remember, either hit tab or enter to get that payment into the payment box. So the balance here is 0 now. Okay, I can go ahead and close out my retail section. Yes. All right, you get these receipts. You can print those out. And you now see where it says the retail section was closed. All right, there is one more step. And even though we did not have any internal repairs on this RO, and we did not have to close out this individual tab, you do have to go to the multi-cash out tab. And this is for multi-type only. So you will need to go back to the multi-cash out tab and do a cash out of the overall RO itself. So yes, I do want to close out this repair order. And then once again, you get those receipts that you can print out for the customer, your accounting department, and the vendor as necessary. So you now see that all 3 are showing closed out on today. Okay, we can close this file, and at the top, just to point out the toolbar options, you can send a text message about this RO over to your customer if you are signed up for text messaging with EverLogic. You can add and scan in documents if necessary. You could email your customer. You can print, and then we're going to say we're finished with this RO and close it out. All right, let's talk about a new repair order where you have a new customer. You can click on the new box, and we'll just add in our customer. Their phone number. Now, if you want to add in additional details, you can do so by clicking on the pencil icon. I'm just going to leave it with the name and address for now. Save that. All right, we've got our customer here. We're going to add in a unit. She did not purchase her unit from us, so we're going to go ahead and create a stock number. And I'm just going to put A. Johnson at the end. So I know it's for Ann Johnson repair order. Again, you can add in as much or as little detail here on this form as necessary. I'm going to go ahead and save this. All right, again, you can set up an appointment detail, add in some specifics here on your general information tab. I'm going to jump over to my service items and add in a new job. And in this case, I am going to add that she is wanting to add in a new sink. She just wants a new sink in her kitchen. There's nothing specific here wrong with the old one. She just wants a new sink. Okay, go ahead and add our technician. We'll say this will take them 3 hours for installation. Okay, I'll go ahead and mark this complete just for class purposes. And then onto our parts tab. And let's say that the sink is something we're going to have to add from the catalog and put it on a purchase order. Okay, I'm going to choose this one. Again, I'm not going to stock this in a bin, so I'm just going to mark it as in and out. Make your selection. Okay. All right, this is for repair job number 1. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this for now and go back to my cash out tab, and I wanted to talk to you about taking a deposit on a repair order. So your deposit option is up at the top. Click on Take Deposit. And when your box comes up, you'll indicate how much she's making the deposit for. Let's say she'll make a deposit in the amount of $112.27. I'm going to go ahead and do this as a Visa charge. If you're not using our EverLogic system with the Cayenne machine, you can just click the Add button. Otherwise, you'll click on the credit card to process the credit card charge. Now, I don't actually have a credit card system set up here, so I'm going to do a quick keyed sell. All right, so my credit card went through. Transaction approved. Close that. Here's a deposit slip that you can give your customer. Copy for yourself. And then we can close our deposit window. And then you'll notice the amount of $112.27 here. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And I did this example because I want to show you how to refund a deposit. This is a very common call that we receive on our support line. Remember, our support staff is here to support you Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. until 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If ever you need us, just give us a call. We'll be glad to help you. And a very common call is refunding deposits. So I did want to give this example just to show you how to do a refund. So I'm going to save, and I'm going to come in, and if it's a deposit that you're refunding, you're going to come to the deposit button, click it, and then view deposits. You want to look at the deposits that have already been taken. So here's our deposit window. We're going to double click on the deposit that we want to refund. Here, this is where you need to be sure to follow the directions. You'll go to the copy button and then choose return. Please notice now you have a negative amount. If this was a Visa, then we're going to go ahead and go in to process that credit card, and you'll see the box that says process refund in the amount of $112.27. So you process that refund, it's been approved, you'll close it, you've got your refund receipt for your customer, one for your dealership, and you can now close this deposit window, and your showing now the deposit amount was refunded. Now, it still shows a balance. So what do we need to do? We need to go in and remove our service job. So you open that up, remove the job, yes, and the parts, click it, right click, and remove the part. Back on the cash out tab, you see it's a zero amount. And then we need to go ahead and save and cash out. And it automatically shows a receipt if you want to print one. All right, so let's go ahead and summarize what we covered today. In our class, we learned about the service repair order form and some general information that we can add in. We talked about the repair order status versus the job status. We did a couple of different types of repair orders, including a retail, an internal, a warranty, an estimate, along with a multi-type. There is a memo box where you can add a note. We talked about adding new and existing customers and attaching a repair order unit or a unit that was sold at your dealership. We talked about adding in service jobs, both manual versus labor codes for those canned jobs that you do often, which will save you a lot of time. Those automatically add the parts, or you can add them on separately when necessary. We talked about the shop supplies and the environmental fees and how you can add on subcontracted work if necessary. We did copying a repair order to keep it as an estimate for later work. We talked about payments versus deposits and closing a repair order. And on behalf of myself and everyone here at EverLogic, thank you so much for taking time away from your busy schedule to join me today. And be sure to stay tuned to learn about our text scheduler and the EverLogic mobile app. Have a great day.